Hello, sunshines. Welcome to BunniPhish Crafts. I'm Heather, known as BunniPhish on all the internet places. How are you? Today is Saturday, the 14th of June, 2025. I'm okay. I'm exhausted. Honestly, if we're being honest, I'm exhausted. So the last day of students in the building, I'm a teacher, in case you didn't know that. I teach technology K through 8, and it's a tough job. I have 8 classes a day, and I have 20 classes total. So elementary students are on a 3-day rotation. It's a lot. It's a lot. And so Monday was my last day of teaching students. Tuesday was the last day of students in the building, but it was only a half day for them, so they didn't have specials. But I'm not just the technology teacher. I'm also the tech coordinator for our school, which means we have 1-to-1 Chromebooks for all of our students. And so checking all of that in and collecting all of the chargers and it was a lot. Wednesday was our last day for working in building that we were required to be there. We could have taken the rest of the week, but I was no, Wednesday I'm out. So yeah, it was fine. And then Thursday I felt okay. I was okay, I'm good. Things are great. I'm on summer break. I was taking it easy, but I was okay, I feel like I have energy. And yesterday, crash. I took 3 naps. I took 2 naps on Thursday, but I took 3 naps yesterday and just still went to sleep early last night, early-ish, 9:30. My summer bedtime is around midnight. I try to get to sleep by midnight, but sometimes it's more 1. And then I didn't wake up until 6:30 this morning. So that's a long chunk of sleep. So all of this to say, we're now in spring break, but this last week I wasn't. Not spring, summer break. This last week I wasn't. So I don't have a ton of progress to show you, I don't think. Maybe. I know I have progress on things, but this might be a shorter one, and then they'll be longer because I will have had more energy to do things. There are not going to be days this summer where I'm sleeping as much. I'm not going to say for the next 5 days or so, I won't be there. There's probably going to be another day where I just crash really hard and don't do anything. But I'm starting to feel the reserves coming in. So let's look at some things, shall we? All right. I don't think I worked on. Okay, I'll go get it. Okay, I was going to say that I didn't think I had worked on this part yet, so let me tell you what I'm talking about. I am making a pair of thigh highs for my oldest kiddo, and last year I made her a pair of thigh highs, and she wears them all the time. She finally was okay, I think I need to wash these. I've been wearing them for 2 weeks straight. I'm yeah, you probably do. She loves them. But we finally washed them because now it's summer and it's going to get a little hot for wool thigh highs. So she requested, because I give the kids the option to pick their own present, she requested a new pair of thigh highs. And so I'm going to let her have them. And I didn't think I had made any progress on the one at school, but apparently I did. And apparently I dropped a stitch or 2. Let me quickly fix that. Okay, it took a minute. It's fine. So I guess I did work on this because last week I had only the black stripe finished. So I put in 3 rounds on it. So I must have worked on it on Monday during my lunch, because on Tuesday and Wednesday I had lunch, but not really. I didn't take my lunch break and so On Monday. I must have done that. So that's the first sock. And then I'm just going to drop it on the floor apparently. Then the second sock I was keeping at home, and I'm kind of in the middle of a row because I actually made really good progress on this one. And so I was here. I'm pretty sure I was here. I don't know what this is for. Oh, I do know what this is for. This is my marker to like count stitches when I'm knitting, because I count stitches. I put a card in last week's thing, but maybe I'll just link the tutorial below of how I count stitches in the round using markers. But anyway, this is where I was last week. So I knit up because this came up as a temperature project, and I had been working on it a little bit here and there. But it came up as a temperature project. So I finished knitting the second side of the folded hem. And I started putting it together, but like that requires taking out a provisional cast on and knitting stitches together and making sure that the elastic is inside. So once my hour was up, I was like, nope, I'm done. I'm not finishing that. So I will be finishing that this week. But yeah, making progress on those thigh highs, which is exciting because I have to say that of all of the holiday projects that I'm making this year, that one is the one that I'm least excited to make. Not because I don't want to make it, but because it's very labor intensive and it's kind of repetitive because it's 2x2 ribbing with the color changes, obviously, which makes it a little more interesting. And there are decreases going down because, of course, your thighs are bigger than your ankles. I think that's universal. So like there's decreases as you go. And then I'm going to have to do arm warmers too. So it's a lot. And last year when I gave the kids the option of picking their project, I specifically told them no sweaters. And what does my kid do? Basically make me make a finger ring weight sweater. But I love her so much and she's worth it. It's a lot. So I'm happy with the progress that I made. I need to keep up the momentum of it. I need to keep working on that. I do really want to find a series or something where I can be like, okay, and on Saturdays, I knit for an episode on that project, but I still haven't found one. Any recommendations of, like, I don't know, I really, really like high fantasy, but I also like other things. So I don't know. And I have access to Netflix, Hulu. I guess I could download Tubi. I don't know if you have to download that, but I guess I could have access to Tubi. Disney Plus. I don't know. Oh, and HBO Max. Anyway, since we're talking about my oldest kiddo, I made them this sock. It is scrappy. It is Patton's Croy leftovers from other projects. The pinky brown one is rose marl, I think, and I made fingerless mitts for my boyfriend's mom out of that. And then the brown and red is no, I'm saying the name wrong. I said that was rose marl. That's not right. Nope, that is, I mean, it does say it's a marl. It says it's brown rose marl. So that one right there. And then the other one is gray brown marl. And that's what I have left of it right here, which is still a big chunk. This is all of my Croy sock yarn. My intent is to work all of this up this year and use all of the leftover bits to make scrappy Croy socks for my oldest kiddo. So I have, 4 pairs to make. I think 4 full pairs to make. one of which I'm working on though. So last week I had just had the yarn to show you because I had left this at school and I didn't put in a marker, but I was here. I was somewhere in this stripey bit where it's the navy. It's showing up black. It's not black. It's like a navy blue with aqua, and this is purple, and you are really, really not seeing the colors in here. Is that better? I'll insert a picture. I'm sorry. The light was good. I feel like the light was good for a minute, but I will figure it out. I'm rearranging my room. That's coming up. That's coming up very quickly. Hopefully within the next week. And hopefully that will help with the lighting situation. But I'll insert a picture because the color is really pretty. And I'm almost to the heel. I have 2 rounds to go. This is the last round before the heel. I am going to pull from the outside of the ball, I think, to do the heel. It's going to be a heel flap and gusset. I don't want to mess up the stripe progression. This sock is for my best friend, and this colorway is called Blue Raspberry. So I'm excited for that. Feeling really good about it. It's just a plain vanilla. I don't really like putting patterns on the stripey or self-patterning croys because I feel like it's kind of a waste of effort. Like, it would be fighting against this. So it's going to be, I think, maybe the stripey socks I'm making for myself I might throw a pattern on, because stripes I feel are a little different. You can do some things with stripes that don't get lost, but on self-patterning I don't usually. So I made progress on that. I also made some progress on my pencil sock, I think. Do I have a marker on here somewhere showing progress? Did I just not make progress on this? Oh no, you know what happened? I know what happened. I had this in my pocket, and I have these little, what are they called? They're just the plain rings, but they have a name. It'll come to me. They fell off in my pocket, and I wanted to work on the sock. I think I was in the heel last I saw you. I think I was like right around here. So I finished the heel, but I needed to use my marker so that I could mark my beginning around and stuff, so that I could continue working on it. So not a ton of work on the pencil sock. I did intend to work on this a lot, and then just like I took it because I had to check in all of the teachers' computers, and I figured I'd just be sitting there checking in teachers' computers, but then there was something else that I had to do while I was doing that, so I didn't actually work on the sock when I thought I was going to. It's Nitpicks. It's in the colorways Dogwood Heather, Ash, and Lemon Drop. So not as far as I wanted to get. I also worked on this Sirena sock, just barely. Yeah, like half a repeat maybe. Just barely worked on it. Again, like this week was hard. Like, I got home from school and I was exhausted, and then Friday I just slept. So this is not what I anticipate my productivity level to be this summer, but even if it is, that's fine. Like, I'm not in competition with anybody except myself, and myself needs rest right now because school is hard. Teaching 500 small humans, not just how to use computers, but also how to be decent humans, is exhausting. It is exhausting. So I have to give myself grace on that. I also made progress on this blanket. So this is my kind of a jelly roll blanket. If you wanted to make something like this, I would say go get the Jelly Roll by KF Jones. But I don't have the pattern because I have the nor'easterly, and so I know how to make it. It's just the nor'easterly without chevrons. I'm holding 3 strands of yarn together. So, right now they are from 3 different balls of yarn. And I don't have a yarn to attach to this. So I'm going to put this aside until I finish some things, several things, because the yarn gets worked up, you know, fairly quickly in here, depending on the size of the yarn ball. And this has no deadline ever. But I did put in a bunch of progress. Like, that's a lot of work that I put on there. So I didn't want to not show you what it looks like. I think it's super pretty. I did plan how the minis were going to go together on this. So, you know, this isn't quite as scrappy, I guess, as the 2 corner-to-corner blankets that I made. It's a little more planned on how things are going to marl together in that blanket. So it is what it is. I also worked on, I'm not going to show you, but I also worked on the barn raising square blanket. Y'all, that's so pretty. I only added 1 square because I added 1 square but did a bunch of knitting on the border. So that's why I'm not going to show you. I did work on, though, this is what got the bulk of the work. Well, the next 2 projects actually got the bulk of the work. This is the sock that I had just barely started last week. It is color work. It's, I don't know if the name has been solidified or not yet. It's something about gardens, like garden beds. Look how pretty that is. By Alendria Knits. And I'm using Haverland minis that I took a whole bunch of Frankensock kits and just pulled the pinks out of for this. So this has right now 5 of the little, they come like this. 5 of these little bobbins already worked into it. I'm working on the 6th. And I have 1 more pattern repeat and then the toe to go. So I finished using my 3 solid colors in here and then opted to go to gray instead of trying to find something else. Is the lighting getting worse? I feel like the lighting's getting worse. I'm sorry. But look at how beautiful that is. Oh my goodness. I did have to mess around a little bit with the order that I had the minis in because I got to this color right here, this kind of light salmony color, I guess. I was gonna say coral, but I feel like this is more coral. So like the salmony color, and the mini that I had paired with it, which is the one that's paired with the gray right now, I don't know if you can tell, but like it's got flecks that are almost the same color as the salmon. So it was getting kind of muddy. So I changed the order of some minis around and I think it's so beautiful. I think that the second sock is probably going to be muddier color work, but I don't actually care. That doesn't bother me. But for the photo, for the one for the test knit, for the one that is for my photo that's going to be posted when the pattern is released, I wanted something with really clear color work, even though it's got speckles in it. I love using speckled yarn for color work. I know 2 solids would give crisper, clearer color work, but I just feel like the speckles add so much depth to the color work. I think it's so pretty. And I love that it's going to be gray for half of the foot and toe. I just think it's going to be so gorgeous. The gray is Knit Picks Ash. I used it for the heel as well. Oh, it's so pretty. For the second one, You want to see if my plan changes in the next week? For the second one, my plan is, because I have the 7 minis and 4 of those are speckly, 7 minis left, I'm going to do an inverse of this. So where I used the speckles on the first sock, I'm going to use the solid on the second sock. I like to do that sometimes when I'm doing color work. So I think it'll look really, really cool. I think it'll be interesting and fun. I'm pretty sure my aunt will like them. She's not intimidated by bold things. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I did end up doing the pattern says 3 repeats of the color work chart on the leg. However, I'm not making these for me. I couldn't try them on to see if they fit. And I don't want to make a color work sock that doesn't fit on my aunt's calves, right? Like, color work is not super stretchy. It's not like other types of socks where it's like, oh, it's okay, it'll stretch a little bit. Color work doesn't do that, so I didn't want it to go really high up the leg. I mean, I feel like this is still a respectable leg length. It's about 50 rounds, somewhere between 50 and 60. So respectable leg length, I feel, especially for a gift sock. And the other project that I feel that has been getting a ton of work this week is my reading blanket, because again, it's been the temperature project for a few days. So I've definitely, all of these squares right here are new for sure. These 5, I did these 2 today, and I did one of these squares. I'm not sure which one, maybe this one. Not as part of like a temperature day, but I finished a book this week. And so like to keep up the momentum and not get behind on my progress to catch up, does that make sense? I added a square, but I don't remember where I was last you saw this. I don't know. Did you see these? Did you not? Okay, I'm fairly certain that one of these is the last one you saw, but if not, I definitely showed you this one last week. So maybe these are new, maybe they're not. I don't know. I should put a progress keeper on this blanket today. I will do that. But yeah, it's been delightful to work on this blanket and catch up, and oh, look at how high it is now. Last time it was here, and now it's like, that's exciting. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm excited to catch up. This square, the last one that I added, was finished October 2024. So last week I was where, April maybe? That's a lot of catching up progress. I didn't read a ton last year. I mean, I did. I read a lot, but I didn't read like a book a week. But I don't think that's my life anymore. At least not at this stage where I'm a teacher. That's not going to be my life. Maybe during summer though, because I have been reading. So I mentioned that I had finished a book and put a square on the blanket, even though it wasn't a temperature blanket. I think I counted, and I think I have 17 books to catch up on. I think I'm at 17, which seems like a much smaller number than where I was at last week. So that's exciting. That makes this catching up on this blanket seem so doable. And then could I just keep up with it? Like, is that, no, I can't put that on myself, especially during the school year. I can't make promises like that. I would like to, but I'm not that person. We'll talk about reading in a minute, but I got myself something that I'm so excited for, and I feel really guilty about, honestly. I don't usually buy stuff for myself. Like, I do, but I always feel really, really guilty about it. Like, if it's for the house, if it's for the kids, cool, whatever, no guilt. If it's for me specifically, so much guilt. So like a month ago, Seta of Seta's Place on YouTube talked about getting a new sewing machine, and she ended up getting a mini sewing machine, but then she ended up getting a full-size sewing machine, and it was on sale, and it was like a good price, and she was talking about it and this and that. And so I like clicked through, and it was a good price. So I kind of left the tab open on my laptop for a month, waiting for it to go off sale so that I wouldn't just buy the sewing machine. But then I bought a sewing machine. So this is not going to become a sewing channel, but it will stay crafty. And I am planning it to make, I have a rug that I talked about wanting to make last year that has been on my brain for, I don't know, 5 years, something like that. Do you remember when I showed you, if you've been here for a while, do you remember when I showed you the stack of old jeans in my closet that are somehow broken that I intend to turn into a rug? That's gonna happen now. I have a sewing machine, so like that won't, it will still take time, but it won't take as long as hand sewing all of those pieces. I also have a quilt that I have all of the pieces cut for that I just need to sew together. So there could be a quilt top this summer. There could be a sewn rug this summer. There's some mending I could probably do on the sewing machine. I don't plan on sewing like all the time or anything, but it would be nice to have a sewing machine for when I do want to sew something, garments or otherwise. I don't know if you know. I guess it would depend on how long you've been here, but I went to school to do theater design, sets and costumes. So I am fairly proficient at making clothing. So it is a thing I theoretically could do. It's not a thing I particularly want to do, but I could. All right, last thing. I finished reading Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas, and I'm a little sad. I'm a little sad that I finished it. Although last week I mentioned that it felt like very Lord of the Rings epic, and the more that I read it, the more it just felt like, oh, we just took every trope from Lord of the Rings and threw it in here. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know. The last book just felt like so... What's that called? Like where someone just follows a recipe perfectly, or like without adding any flair to it. It felt like that. There is a term for that, and I cannot think of what it is. So I didn't not like it. I did. I like Lord of the Rings. I liked that book. It just wasn't like amazing, but like on the whole, I really liked it. So, you know, I liked it. Once I finished that, I started Tar Baby by Toni Morrison, which was recommended by Shelby Monet of Shelby and the Book Club. And so far I've gotten in 2 days. I read half of it in 2 days. So maybe another 2 days and I will finish it. And I am enjoying the read. It kind of feels like a summer book. Like it takes place in the Caribbean. It talks about classism and racism. There's kind of like a mystery of like a who is this person sort of situation. The characters are vivid and different, and yeah, it's enjoyable. I'm liking it so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the book. I honestly don't really know anything about this book. If you're new here, I don't read the backs of books. I totally pick up books based on recommendations and vibes, and that's it. Like, if I like the cover, I'm going to pick up the book. If I like the title, I'm picking up the book. Am I going to read the back? Absolutely not. If I hear someone recommend it and I like enough of what they're saying about the book, am I going to pick it up? Yes. Am I going to record in my memory what they said about the book? Absolutely not. I don't want to know. So I'm going to read this, or I'm going to finish this. This is going to be my next finish. I'm also reading, I'm going to grab a couple things. I'm also reading Dope Sick by Beth Macy, which is about dope. It's about narcotics and like how it became so prevalent, how narcotics became so prevalent, and like pain relievers, I guess, that people didn't necessarily need were being prescribed, and like the effects of that. So that's interesting. I try to read 10 pages of nonfiction a day during summer. So I have this book and 2 other books that I'm probably going to read this summer. And I have a bunch of fiction books. I think my TBR is like 11 books long right now. But it's, my TBR is digital right now because it's books that I have on hold at the library, but the holds are suspended until like certain, I think it's like every 2 weeks. I have 2 or 3 books that are supposed to come up from off of hold. So I need to pick my next book soon. So if you watch this shortly after it goes up and you have an opinion, let me know. These 2 were both also recommended by Shelby Monet. So Last Summer on State Street or Sky Full of Elephants. I'm not going to read what they're about on the back. I think that I remember that this was kind of about girls growing up in the projects. And I feel like Sky Full of Elephants was kind of like a post-apocalyptic story. But I could be making both of those things up, and maybe it's other books that Shelby was talking about. So if you have an opinion on which one I should read next, go ahead and put it in the comments. And yeah, because both are equally interesting. I would say these are similar in length, even though clearly one's much bigger than the other. So I don't have a strong feeling either way on which one to read, but those are coming up, and I would like to have your opinion on which one you think I should read. Which would you like to hear about a little bit? All right, I think that's what I have to talk about today. So I hope that you are getting the rest you need, because y'all, it's hard right now. Like, aside from the school things that have been going on, like the US things that are going on right now are just like, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. So I hope you're resting. I'm trying to rest. I'm trying to remind myself that I don't have to earn rest. Like, it's okay to rest. It's not wasting my time to rest, which I am struggling against so hard. So hopefully next week when I see you, I have a lot to talk about, because I have a lot of projects. So I would love to be able to like give you more information about things, show you more things. Again, it's not a race against other people. It's a race against me. And I know what my summer productivity looks like. So I'm hoping that I get into my summer productivity next week. All right, friends. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.